Hi, welcome to your practice. My name is Sarah Diedrich, and I'm so happy that you're here. We're going to be doing a practice today that hopefully feels very uplifting. My intention behind this practice is to help you remember the expansiveness, the inherent space, and expansiveness and potential that you have right inside of you. And so, this practice is about reaching out, being vibrant, feeling full, and feeling abundant. So I hope that you enjoy this practice. We'll get started. Let's come onto our mats and find child's pose. So start to walk the knees a little bit wider, touch the big toes together, and then glide your hips back towards your heels. And before you come down completely, let's go ahead and keep your chest lifted and crawl your fingertips as far forward as you can, really lengthening out through the arms and stretching the sides of the body. Now you might stay upright like this if that feels good. You can come down if you want to, so lay the palms flat on the mat, let the elbows sink toward the floor, and then the chest can come down as well as the forehead. And from there, travel down into your breath. Noticing the expansive quality of the inhalation and the softening quality of the exhalation. And just with the breath, we can be reminded of our inherent expansiveness, boundlessness, fullness, especially when we feel the inhalation expand our physical body. So feel that sensation as you inhale. Notice how the sides of the ribs widen. Notice how the back of the ribs lift. And exhale, empty the lungs. Two more. Exhale. Inhale, fill up. And exhale, empty out. On your next inhalation, start to glide forward into tabletop pose, stacking your shoulders over the heels of the hands and hips over your knees. On an inhale, drop your belly toward the floor, float your tailbone up, and scoop your heart forward between your arms and pause here in this back bend shape, also known as cow. Keep your hands firmly rooted and your arms straight, but your elbows just a little bit soft so there's some buoyancy through the arms. And to accentuate the back bend, start to pull the bottom tips of your shoulder blades and your sitting bones toward each other. Start to feel the back body activate as the heart moves even further forward between the arms. Lift the chin, open the front of the throat. And as you exhale, start to very slowly come into cat pose. Push down into the floor, round your spine, curl your tailbone down toward the floor, pull the ribs in, and spread your shoulder blades apart, away from the back of the heart. Draw your chin toward your chest and see if you can push down into the floor even more and accentuate this rounded shape. Good. Inhale, come into your back bend. Activate the back body as you scoop the heart forward. Exhale and round your spine, pulling your front body toward your back body. And then keep going like that at your own pace. You can stay nice and slow or pick it up a little bit. But something I invite you to think about today in your practice is how can you preserve the fullness of your breath? And rather than trying to fit yourself into a certain shape or force yourself into a certain physical depth that might cut off the breath, how can your postures serve the fullness of your breath? And so sometimes that takes a little bit of tweaking, adjusting the body so that we can serve the breath and preserve its fullness. So I invite you to play and experiment with all of that today. Good. And then go ahead and come back to your neutral spine. Tabletop pose, hug the belly in, lengthen the tail back behind you, and then pick up your left heel so that your left heel points toward the ceiling, like you're holding a tray on your left hand. Keep the hips square, front of the left hip facing the floor, and then start to pulse that left heel up toward the ceiling, engaging the left side glute muscles, the left side of your back maybe, and keep the belly hugging in so you're giving space to the lower back and really focusing the work in the hamstrings and the glutes. Right, so a lot of the lower body working here. Stay here, or go ahead and pick up your right hand and turn your right palm toward the sky like you're holding a tray on your right hand. You're going to pulse the hand in harmony with the left heel. And you might imagine you're holding something in your right hand that inspires you, that uplifts you, that reminds you of how capable and expansive you are. That could be a person, a pet, a practice, an affirmation. Just hold it there, right? Serving it up, giving it some gratitude for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lay your right hand down, stretch your left heel back behind you, left leg straight, still floating in the air. Curl your right toes under, take a big inhale there. And a strong exhale to push to three-legged down dog. Straighten the right leg, lift the left leg up into the air. Roll your left hip open, bend your knee, and hug your heel toward your seat. Inhale, stretch the left knee away from the left shoulder. Exhale, think knee to nose. Step your left foot to your left thumb. Right knee lowers, coming into Anjaneyasana. Inhale, sweep the arms wide and high. Lift the back of the spine into the front of the spine. Exhale your hands to the mat. Step back to plank pose. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, lower knees, chest, chin for this one. Nice and easy. Untuck the toes. Inhale, cobra pose. Lift your chest. Roll your outer shoulders back. Widen the collarbones. Exhale, push to down dog, pulling your belly and your ribs in as you go back. Drive energy down into the heels of your hands, lengthening the arms and the spine. Soften up the knees, let the tailbone float. Inhale, fill the sides of the ribs. Feel that expansive quality. And exhale, hug in toward yourself, where that expansiveness begins. Inhale forward into high plank pose, and exhale, lightly lower the knees down onto the mat. Hold the tray on the right heel. So pick up the right foot and just hold that tray on the sole of the right foot. Keep the hips square, front of the pelvis facing the floor, and then start to pulse the right heel up. And these are tiny little pulses. The subtler, the better, because then we'll really focus in on those glute muscles and the hamstrings on the right side. Keep the front ribs hugging in toward the body. Keep the belly toning toward the spine. Stay here if you feel stable, or pick up that left hand, hold the tray on the left hand, and take those little pulses. Calling back that inspiration, the source of inspiration for you, just kind of serving it up, right? Little thank you, thank you, thank you, as you pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower the left hand. Kick the right heel back behind you so the left leg is straight. Keep the right leg lifted. Curl your left toes under. Inhale here, root down into the hands. Big exhale to push back, three-legged down dog. Roll the right hip open, bend the knee. Hug your right heel toward your right sitting bone. Stretch your right knee away from your right shoulder on the inhalation, finding more length. And then exhale, contract. Think knee to nose. Step your right foot to your right thumb. Sink your left knee down. Pull your legs in toward each other as you rise up into Anjaneyasana. Drag your left thigh forward and your right thigh back. Hug the belly in as you lift the heart. Good. Bring your hands to the mat. This time we're going to step forward to the top of the mat and find Uttanasana, standing forward bend, folding over both of your legs. And you can widen or narrow your feet. Soften up the knees just a tad, really as much as you need to here. Pour weight forward into the balls of your feet. Root your heels down and lift your sitting bones up toward the sky. Let your spine drape over your legs. Let the sides of your body get nice and long. And with each exhale, try and drop the crown of your head toward the floor. Like kind of this beautiful bowing in action, bowing in toward yourself. So sometimes it takes tapping in and connecting inside to remember our expansiveness, and sometimes it takes reaching out toward others, serving others to remember how expansive and capable we are. So bow in toward yourself. Each exhale, hug the front ribs in. Good. On an inhale, come to halfway, lift. Hands can slide to the front of your shins. Trace your heart and your gaze forward. Exhale and fold over both legs. This time, bring the hands to the front of the shins, halfway lift. Press your shins forward into your hands and your hands back into your shins. Feel the shoulder blades slide down the back as the heart reaches forward. Back body starts to wake up. Inhale, lengthen the front of the spine. And then exhale and fold, let that go. Bow and drape yourself over your legs. Inhale, pass through, halfway lift, come all the way to stand. Reach the arms up toward the sky. Hello, plant. Inhale. Exhale your hands into your heart. Samastiti, and then arms by your side, Tadasana pose. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms wide and high. Root the heels, reach the hands. Exhale and fold with a long spine, bowing over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift, look up and lengthen. Exhale, left foot back, left knee down. Drag the right heel and the left knee toward each other. Rise up into Anjaneyasana, low lunge, digging the right heel down. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to high plank pose. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra pose, roll the outer shoulders back, lift the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg reaches toward the sky. Exhale, step your left foot through, right knee lowers down. Arms reach up, low lunge, same thing. Lift the back of the spine into the front of the spine, reaching the heart, laying the head back. Down, step to the front of the mat and fold. Uttanasana, standing forward bends. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Lead with your heart as you rise up. Always leading with your heart. Reach the arms up and exhale, hands into your heart. Arms rest by your side. Tadasana pose. Inhale, arms sweep up. We go again. Move with your breath. Exhale and fold over your legs. Take your time, no rush. Halfway lift, inhale, reach the heart forward as well as the gaze. Right foot back this time, right knee lowers down. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Hug your inner thighs toward each other to find stability. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back to high plank pose. Inhale, high plank. Exhale, navel hugs in, lower knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga all the way down to the floor. Untuck your toes, anchor your pubic bone, and then lift your chest up any height. Now here, just pause for a second. Stay buoyant through the chest, so keep the elbows bent so you're not locking out. And then with your hands rooted, imagine like you're trying to pull your hands apart. Pull your hands apart and feel the collarbones widen and the shoulder blades hug in toward the spine. Keep that action like you're pulling the mat apart. Inhale. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg sweeps up behind you. Exhale, right foot to right thumb, lower your left knee down. Pull your legs in as you reach the arms up. Hug the belly in, lean back, and press the shoulder blades forward into the heart to lift your chest toward the sky. Inhale, reach up through the arms. Exhale your hands to the mat. Step your left foot forward and fold over both legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, lift halfway, trace your gaze forward. Exhale and fold. Good. Bring your legs and your feet together. Sit your hips and rise up into chair pose, Utkatasana. Okay, so weight is in the heels. Heels are heavy, toes are light. Shift your thighs back into the hip sockets. Sitting bones reach back and the heart lifts in the opposite direction. Squeeze your legs together. like your legs are one. And then lift up through the sides of the body all the way through the fingers. See if you can get a little bit brighter. You can expand a little bit more, reaching, reaching, reaching. Good. Exhale and fold over your legs. Uttanasana, standing forward bend. Inhale, halfway lift, look up and lengthen. Plant the hand, step or jump back to plank pose. Take your vinyasa if you'd like, or skip it. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, right leg reaches up toward the sky. Exhale, right foot to right thumb. Keep your fingertips down here and spin your left heel flat. Okay, for warrior one feet, but the hands are going to stay down for a moment. So that back foot, left foot is maybe at about a 45-degree angle, rooting down through both feet nice and strong. Pull your right thigh and your right hip back as you drag your left thigh forward. Magnetize your inner thighs toward one another, so squeeze the legs in, push down through your feet, and bring your hands to your hips. And then feel the kind of levelness through your pelvis, and maybe you use that right hand to drag the right hip back a little bit again. Stretch your arms forward, hovering over your right thigh. Keep a nice deep bend to that right thigh, right knee. And then start to anchor your tailbone down as you lift up into warrior one. Tailbone reaches down as the heart reaches up. Press that left heel down and back behind you. Firm the left leg. Hug the front ribs in as you lift the heart up. Good. And then from here, you're going to go ahead and clasp your hands and actually cradle your head. So you're going to create a basket with your hands and cradle the back of your head. Pull your elbows in toward each other, like you're trying to squeeze your face. And then lay your head back in your hands so you're looking up toward the sky. And as you hug the elbows toward each other, you should be able to see the elbows there. I want you to plug your arm bones back into your shoulder sockets. So you're pulling the arm bones down into the shoulder sockets. And as you do that, push the bottom tips of your shoulder blades up into the back of your heart. Okay, keep hugging the belly in. Maybe you lean back a little bit more. Make sure the lower back feels happy. Bend into that front knee and then rise back up. Good. Arms reach. Inhale. Imagine the arms are an extension of your tailbone. Lift the back ribs. Create space in the back of your body. And then hands to the mat. Step back to downward facing dog or take your vinyasa if you want that. Good. Inhale all the way down into your lower back in your downward facing dog. And exhale, empty out. Inhale the left leg up toward the sky. Exhale, step your left foot to your left thumb. Pause with your fingertips down, or you can always find blocks. I recommend 2 blocks or 2 books or something to support you there. And then draw your right heel down onto the mat. So lay your right heel flat. Spin the heel down so the foot's at about 45 degrees and bend your left knee over your left ankle. Press your feet down and away from each other to extend through the bones of your legs, and then bring your hands up to your hips so you can feel the pelvis. Pull your left hip back and drag your right thigh forward, squaring off through the hips. They don't have to be completely square, of course, but just moving in that direction. And then start to curl the tail under as you lift up into warrior one. Okay, so I'm never going to tell you that you have to square the hips because that's not always possible, right? You might actually have your hips at a little bit of a diagonal, and if that feels good for your spine, then that's the priority, right? We're not trying to constrict anything, we're trying to create space. So feel here like you're trying to drag your right heel toward the back of your mat, lengthening your right leg as well as toning the right leg, hugging muscle to bone. Scoop the belly in, lift the heart up, find length, lift the ribs away from the waist, and then create that basket with your hands. Interlace the hands, hold the back of your head, and let it be nice and heavy in your hands. And then go ahead and draw the elbows toward each other, like you're squeezing the side of your face, which you kind of are. And then you're going to draw the bottom tips of the shoulder blades up into the heart as you plug the upper arm bones down into the shoulder sockets. Keep dragging your right thigh forward and your left thigh back. Lift up through the heart as you hug the belly in. Lean back, head is nice and heavy. Give that noggin a break. Good, and then rise back up to the vertical line. Stretch your arms up toward the sky. Lift the back of the ribs up, so all the way from your tailbone, lengthen through your back body, through your fingers. And as you lift the back of the ribs up, draw your lower front ribs down, almost like you're about to round your spine. Inhale. Exhale the hands to the mat. Down dog or plank pose. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Push the hands down, lift the heart. Exhale, belly pulls in, taking you to your downward facing dog. Inhale here, push down through the hands. And exhale. Inhale, look forward, bend the knees, step or float to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale and fold. Bring your legs and your feet together for chair pose. And this time, bring your hands to your heart. Bow over your legs a little bit, so let your heart point toward the floor. Let your gaze point toward the floor. Inhale, lengthen your shoulders away from your waist, sides of the body open. And as you exhale, pull your front body to your back body and start to twist over toward the right. You can hover that left elbow in midair, so you don't have to do the hook. You can just twist the torso or land the left elbow on top of the right thigh. You can also wedge the outer left arm, the tricep, outside of the right thigh. Squeeze the legs in. Push your right hand down into your left hand to turn your heart up toward your thumbs. And then slide your right shoulder blade onto the back of your heart, opening the right side of your chest. Big breath into the left side of your back. Exhale, hug in and twist. One more. Inhale into the left side of your back. Exhale, hug in and twist. Good. Inhale, rise to stand all the way up. And exhale, float the hands in front of your heart. Soften chin to chest. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale and fold over soft knees. Inhale, halfway lift, luxuriate in your breath. And then step your left foot back into crescent pose. Left heel stays lifted, right knee over right ankle. Rise up as you're ready. Good, and then go ahead and clasp your hands and press your palms in front of you. And think about your cat shape, so that rounded shape, like a gust of wind just came in front of you and kind of pushes your front body in toward your back body. So you press the palms forward, straightening the arms, spreading the shoulder blades, and the front body hugs into the back body. Okay, keep that as you lower your left knee down onto the mat. Now think cat in your belly, so the belly keeps hugging in just like it is. But then as you reach your palms up toward the sky now, think cow in your chest. So the chest starts to lift up, finding just a little back bend. And then you'll take a side bend. So reach the palms up toward the sky and side bend over toward the right. Keep pressing through the palms, lengthening your whole left side. Root that left knee down. Engage your left glutes a little bit. So firm the left glutes as you lengthen the tail down. Pull on that left hand. And inhale, feel the space all the way through your left side body. Good. Exhale, release your hands to the mat. Frame your front foot and glide your hips back into half splits. So your hips will come to line up over your left knee. You might need to wiggle that right heel forward. You might need to slide props underneath your hands. Pull your right toes back toward your right shin as you dig the right heel down into the mat. And feel like energetically you are trying to pull your right heel and your left knee toward each other, and that will help to start squaring off through the hips. Good. Lift your heart up toward your right toes. Stay or exhale and bow over your right leg. And we'll do some waves here. So inhale, halfway lift. Stretch your heart forward and your sitting bones back. Exhale and soften as you drape over your right leg. Let your head go completely. Inhale, lead with your heart, halfway lift. Chin lifts last. Exhale and bow. Chin draws toward the chest. Inhale, rock all the way forward. Frame your front foot, pick up your left knee, coming into an easy twist. Left hand down, right arm sweeps up toward the sky. Inhale, open up. Exhale, your right hand down. Step to plank or down dog. Inhale, plank. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Hug the elbows back and in. Inhale, lift up into your back bend. Widen the chest. Exhale, hug the belly in to help you go back, downward facing dog. Inhale here. Exhale, empty the lungs. Inhale, look forward, rooting into the hands. Exhale, bend the knees, step or float up to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, inhale, lengthen the front of your spine. And exhale to fold. Bring your legs and your feet together into your chair pose. Hips sink down, heels are heavy, toes are light. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Inhale all the way up the sides of your body, from the sides of your waist up into your armpits, finding length. Exhale, hug the front body in, hollow out a little bit, and start to twist over toward your left. And you can just start by twisting the torso and staying more upright, and this might be your twist. Squeeze the legs together. If you want to come down, right elbow to left thigh. Press your left hand into your right hand, turning your heart up toward your thumbs, and slide your left shoulder blade onto the back of your heart, widening the left side of your chest. Gaze wherever is most comfortable for your neck, and breathe. Feel the inhale fill up the right side of your back, and then exhale, hug the ribs in toward each other to help you twist. One more like that. Inhale, fill up the right side of your back. Exhale, hug in and twist. Inhale, press into the feet, rise all the way to stand, feel that nice length. And exhale, soften the hands into your heart, chin to chest. Good, inhale, you're doing great. Arms reach up toward the sky. Exhale and fold. Just think how amazing it is to be here, to be moving with your body. Halfway lift, inhale, lengthen the spine. And exhale, right foot back. Rise up into crescent pose. Right heel stays lifted, left heel or left knee over the left ankle. And so I just want to commend you for being here, for getting on your mat. That's a huge part of it. It's just that willingness to practice and to be in tune with your body. So good job. Clasp your hands and press your palms forward in front of you. With straight arms, push the palms forward as you hug your front body toward your back body. Feel all of that space in the back side of your body as you curl your tail down. You can soften that right knee a little bit. Tail scoops under, belly hugs in. Keep pushing the palms forward, forward, forward. And then keep that as you lower the right knee down. Keep hugging the belly in as you reach the palms up toward the sky. Arms line up with the ears if it's possible. If you need to, the arms can be slightly forward. Reach up through the arms, think cow through the chest, and then side bend over toward the left. I want you to pull or tug on that right hand to feel like you're stretching the skin along your right side. And we're not coming into a back bend here, so hug the front ribs in, fill up your back body, and think about the stretch through the right side. As you inhale, fan the right ribs nice and wide. Good, and then exhale, come on back up. Release your hands to frame your front foot. Glide your hips back into half splits. Hips will line up over the right knee, so you might need to wiggle your left foot forward or back. Hands to the mat or hands to props. Pull your left toes toward your left shin, kicking out through your left heel, so you'll get into the calf muscles a little bit more that way. Lift halfway through your chest or through your spine and pull your left heel back and your right knee forward. So magnetize the left heel and the right knee toward one another. Inhale, stretch your heart long. Stay or exhale and fold over your left leg. So we're not trying to lock out that left knee, so make sure there's a tiny, tiny bend to the left knee. Back of the left knee stays supple. Inhale, halfway lift. Reach your sitting bones back and your heart forward. Exhale, soften the front body in as you fold. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, crawl forward, framing your front foot. Pick up your back knee, squeeze that right leg straight. Right hand stays down, sweep the left arm up for a twist. Hug the outer hips in, turn your ribs and your chest and your gaze up. And exhale your hands to the mat. Vinyasa or downward facing dog. Your choice, your practice. Good. From downward facing dog, right leg will lift again. Roll the hip open, bend the knee, hug the heel toward the seat. Inhale, stretch the right knee away from you. Exhale, think knee to nose. Step your right foot to your right thumb. And then you're going to sink your left knee down onto the mat and walk your hands over toward the left side of your mat. You might want to block under your left hand for this, so you can try that, bringing the block to any height. Right hand will come to the right knee, and then you'll start to turn open toward the right thigh. So starting off in a twist. And you can stay right here in the twist, letting the hips kind of come forward a little bit if that feels okay. Or take the bind, stretch the right arm behind you, bend the left knee, and catch the outer edge of your left foot with your right hand. Okay, and if you feel like you can't grab the foot, you can lift the block a little bit higher, and then you'll be closer toward that foot. Okay. If you have the foot, what I want you to try here is pulling your hips back actually in space and try and touch your butt toward your back heel. Okay, so you're essentially coming out of it just for a sec. And then scoop your tailbone under. So you're kind of scooping the hips under there and lifting the pubic bone up. Keeping that, let the hips come forward again and try and see how close you can keep the heel coming toward your seat. If that feels too intense, you can of course adjust as you need to. Keep turning your heart toward your right thigh, rolling your right shoulder back, hugging your back heel toward your sitting bone. And then feel like you're trying to drag your right heel and your left knee toward each other. And that will certainly juice things up a little bit. You inhale there. And then as you exhale, try and lightly let go of your back foot. Land it down onto the mat. Go ahead, shift your hips back into half splits just for one breath. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale and fold. Wow, that feels like a nice release. I hope it does for you too. Come forward, step back to down dog. Take a vinyasa if you want to. Good. And then right leg will reach up. Inhale, roll the hip open, bend the knee. Exhale, right foot to right thumb. Oh, we already did that side. Step back to down dog. Left leg reaches up into the air. Roll the hip open, bend the knee, hug the heel towards your seat. Inhale, stretch the left knee away from your left shoulder, and then step your left foot to your left thumb. There we go. Left foot is forward, right leg is back. Walk your hands over toward the right side of the mat. And again, if you know you want that block, place a block underneath your right hand. Left hand to left thigh, and then just start to turn over toward your left, finding the twist first. And if you feel good sensation in the front of the right thigh, then you just stay here. If you want a little bit more, you can take the bind, bend your back leg, point the toes, catch the outside of your foot with your left hand, and then start to pull the hips back toward your heel, coming out of it a little bit. So then you have space to scoop the tail under and lift the pubic bone up. And then you can let the hips float forward and down again, trying to keep the tailbone scooping under and the pubic bone lifting up. Hug the back heel toward your sitting bone and roll the chest open, peeling the left shoulder back. Okay, imagine like you're trying to drag your left heel back and your right knee forward. Feeling that magnetism again, juicing up the right thigh. Good. Inhale. And exhale, slowly release. Bring the hands to frame your front foot. Glide your hips back, half splits. Peel the left toes up, straighten the left leg. Halfway lift, inhale, stretch your heart forward. And fold, exhale. Inhale, come forward. Step back to downward facing dog, optional vinyasa if you want it. And then once you're in your downward facing dog, walk your feet all the way to the edges of your mat and even shorten your dog. We'll take a twist here. Root down through your right hand and really push down into that right hand with some energy. Take your left hand and hold the outside of your right leg. Maybe it's the thigh, maybe it's the shin, maybe it's the ankle. And as you grip the outside of the right leg, give it a little tug. So pull with that right hand to start to turn your torso, your ribs over toward the right. And you might look underneath your right arm. Keep sliding the right shoulder blade onto the back of the heart so you're not dropping in the armpit, you're keeping it lifted. And as you pull on that leg and turn your body over to the right, take some deep breaths into the left side of your back. If you think you could go a little bit deeper, you can bend the left elbow, drawing your chest toward your right thigh. One more inhale. And exhale, release. Ooh, I just had a moment there. Left hand's going to plant, and then take your right hand to the outside of your left leg. Anywhere on the outside of the leg. And then give it a little pull, nothing too forceful, a gentle pull. And as you do that, keep driving energy down into the heel of your left hand, right? So we're not sinking toward the mat. We're actually pushing away from the mat as we spin over to the left. Slide your left shoulder blade onto the back of your heart. And breathe into the right side of your back. And if you want to go a little bit deeper, bend that right elbow and pull yourself in just a little bit more. And one more inhale into the back of your right side. And exhale, release. Walk your hands back towards your feet. Turn your heels in and your toes out and come into Malasana. Okay, I'll show you from here. So heels and toes out. If you want some support, you'll just slide a prop underneath your hips and kind of sit on that. Okay. Another option is to bring your fingertips out in front of you for support and kind of lift the hips up if your knees are bothering you. Okay, and then for full Malasana, the elbows can come inside of the knees, palms together, and then see if you can lift your heart up toward your thumbs. Right? Trying to draw the shoulder blades together and widen the front of the chest and the sides of the chest. And then breathe down into the inner thighs and the inner hips. And allow the tailbone to get heavy toward the floor as the chest continues to float up. And take one more breath here. Try to breathe down, filling the bowl of your pelvis. And exhale, feel the pelvis relax. Good. Okay, from here, I'm going to waddle back this way to show you. You're going to bring your arms forward, round your spine, like that same gust of wind just came, and drawing your front body toward your back body. Round your spine, reach the arms forward. Curl your sitting bones toward the backs of your heels. And then, with as much control as possible, plop your hips down. Boop. And then float your legs up for a boat pose. Hug your inner legs together, spread your toes, lift your heart up toward your knees. Hands can support you on the floor if you need to. Slide your upper arm bones back into the shoulder sockets to widen the chest. Inhale there. Exhale, half boat, Ardha Navasana. Stretch your legs forward as well as your arms. Keep your shoulders lifted. Try to hug your front body in. Pubic bone and sternum draw toward each other. Inhale there. And then come all the way onto your back. Exhale. Oh, that feels nice. Hug your knees into your chest as you rest on your back, and feel free to kind of rock side to side or make circles with your knees. I know for me that when I find a practice, or when I practice in a way that's really expansive, like we did today with a lot of extending and some back bends and lengthening. When I finally end up on my back, I feel this sweet sense of settling. Like everything's kind of just like dissolving back in toward my center. And I hope you feel a sense of settling here as you lay on your back. And if you focus on a long exhale, that can also help you arrive at this settling feeling. So take some long, gradual exhales and feel your back body sink down deep into the floor. And from there, bring your knees to center, wrap your hands around the front of your knees, and go ahead and pull your knees apart, creating a V shape with your legs. So the knees come out toward the sides of the room. Let your tailbone, the base of your sacrum, really anchor down heavy into the mat. And you can even steer your sitting bones toward the mat, finding that natural curve in the lower spine. Stay right here if this feels nice, or find happy baby. Bring your arms inside of your legs, wrap your hands around your shins, your ankles, hold your big toes, or maybe hold the outer edges of your feet, and start to lift your heels up toward the ceiling, widening the thighs away from each other. If the lower back starts to lift and you kind of round up, then go ahead and hold around the shins or take that first pose, hands around the knees, so that you can anchor the tailbone again and bring the spine back into its natural curves. And send your inhalations all the way down into the pelvis. Let it sweep along the inner thighs. As you exhale, feel the shoulder blades settle down. Feel the back of the neck settle down. Feel the back of the skull settle down. One more inhale. And exhale, start to release the feet. Bring the knees toward each other. Give them one more big squeeze into your chest. Maybe lift your forehead up toward your knees. And then expand everything out. Ultimate expansion pose. Finding Shavasana. So let your limbs be really long. Take up as much space as you want to. Maybe rock your head from side to side, releasing through the neck, releasing through the face. Let the whole back body drop down into the floor, letting the front body be light and spacious. And begin here to unravel your breath. Unravel the mind. Unravel the body. Begin to feel your breath meandering through your body again. Notice how your body moves on top of your breath. And you might extend that awareness down through your limbs, adding a little bit of movement into your fingers and your toes. Maybe rocking your head from side to side again. And when you feel ready, start to turn your knees and your toes to point toward the sky. And one at a time, slide the heels in toward you, planting your feet on the mat, bending the knees up toward the sky. And then shift your hips over to one side, rolling toward the opposite side, coming into the fetal position. Resting heavy there for a moment. And use your top hand to push down, rising up into your final seat. You can rest the hands on your thighs. Maybe you join the palms together in front of your heart if that feels right. And as you root down through the sitting bones, feeling firmly established in yourself, in your body, lengthen up through your spine, feeling that sense of expansion and space as you reach for what's more. And take one more final breath, deep inhale. Empty the lungs, exhale. And thank you so much for practicing with me today. Such a pleasure. I'll see you soon.